Some people say you should buy because it generates long-term wealth, while others say you should rent because of the flexibility aspect. Because again, no one wants to be tied down to a property for 30 years. Or maybe they do. Guys, confirmation bias is real, and you can find a solid argument to back up any claim for whichever side you're leaning towards. But before you go to IamRight.com, I think it's important for you to know the facts on both sides. Should you rent or should you buy? That is the question, and that is what I hope to clarify in today's video. So let's dive right in. Roll intro. What's going on, guys? Steven from the Vargas team here again, and welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to elevate your real estate knowledge by learning tips, strategies, and other real estate related information, well then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking that bell icon so you can stay up to date with our weekly real estate videos. Okay, so out of the gate, let's go ahead and answer the should you buy or should you rent question. And the answer to that is that it depends. I know that that's not the answer that you're looking for, but that's the reality. In my opinion, I believe that there are better times in your life to focus on renting, and then there are times in your life that are better suited to focus on home ownership. To understand what I mean by that, let's go ahead and talk about the pros of each one. First, renting. The biggest advantage many people will cite is the upfront cost. See, when you buy, you're expected to come up with more money, significantly more money, I may add, to purchase that property than it would be to rent that same property. For example, take a standard $350,000 home. Now, this price may not be standard in your market, but in my market, it's about average, give or take. If you were to get an FHA loan at 3.5% of the purchase price, then you're going to be looking at around $12,250 of a down payment. And this does not include closing costs, inspections, appraisals, attorney fees, etc. But for the sake of this argument, let's just round that number up to $13,000. Now, renting the same home is likely to be around $2,500. Again, my market may be different, but bear with me. As a renter, you will be expected to come up with 3 months minimum rent, which would be equivalent to your first month, your last month, and your security deposit. So all in, we're talking about $7,500 worth of money to come up for a rental versus $13,000 of money that you would need to purchase that same property, which if you do the math, it's $5,500 less upfront cash than you would need to take to buy. Not to mention that as a renter, in many instances, the maintenance for big ticket items and just general upkeep of the property, such as lawn and pool maintenance, water, trash, the whole nine, and many times that's covered in your rent payment. I would, however, point out that although the upfront cost may be less for a renter, the total monthly rent amount is sometimes higher than that of the mortgage payment for that same property. It's kind of a premium, if you will, just to have the flexibility. Speaking of flexibility, renting gives you more freedom as you're not tied down to a property. You're free to move around and explore different areas and neighborhoods, chase job opportunities at a moment's notice, and just make general adjustments in your overall lifestyle. So whether you outgrow your property and you're onto bigger and better things, or you just need to downsize, either way, the point is that flexibility is a good thing, especially when it comes to the younger generation, as millennials, myself included, love this aspect of renting. And for my homeowner lovers out there, I haven't forgotten about you. See, buying a home is a beautiful thing, and there's just something noble about the pride of ownership. Now, for some of you, that may not sound interesting or important at all, but for others, you should know or be aware about the vast net worth differences between a homeowner versus a renter. The 2016 survey of consumer finances found that the average net worth of a family who owns their own home is around $231,000, compared to that to a renter's net worth of just $5,200, which, as this article points out, is a staggering 45-fold difference. And as it currently stands, this gap is just getting wider and wider, with the average net worth raising for homeowners while the renter's net worth is continuing to fall. Owning a home also gives you that built-in equity that you can always fall back on. See, when you make your mortgage payments, a portion of that payment goes towards what is called principal paydown. Effectively, this means that the amount of money that you owe to the bank gets reduced a bit by bit every single month you make a payment until the end of those 30 years where it's completely paid off. You couple principal paydown with appreciation, and what you're left with is a property that's worth much more than what you owe. The difference between the amount of money that you owe to the bank and what your home is worth is what is called equity. And you can then turn this equity into cash by selling your home, doing a HELOC, taking out a line of credit, or doing a cash out refinance. The point is that ideally your home should be increasing in value over the years and making you money while you live there. Now, while renting, you can rent for 30 years and not have anything to show for it at the end of those 30 years. Not to mention that when you do get a mortgage, you're able to lock in that payment for those 30 years as it will never go up on you. While as a renter, you're battling inflation, market trends, so undoubtedly your rent will go up. And you could just imagine how much more it will be paying rent in the next 10 to 20 to 30 years. I mean, it will most likely be unrecognizable. At the most basic level, home ownership gives you the ability to make the home more of your own, as you can make upgrades to the property, the ones that you desire, while as a renter, you're more limited with what you can actually do with the space because of course you don't own it, so you need to get permission from the owner before you do anything. Renters will argue that by not buying, they will have more money left to play with to invest in other areas, counteracting this whole equity increase and what is called an opportunity cost, which in some cases I can agree with. Now, earlier I said that in my opinion, there are times in your life where it's going to be better suited for you to rent and other times in your life where it's better suited for you to buy. This all depends on your lifestyle. For example, in your 20s, you're probably at a point in your life where you could take a little bit more risk. You're likely not married and possibly don't have kids. And because of this, your responsibilities may be less than that of someone who is married and has a growing family. Your 20s are a time to focus on renting and living way below your means. So get a group of friends and rent a house together so you can all lower your living expenses, significantly, I may add. Because what you're trying to do at this point is save to buy. And yes, you heard me right. Even when you're renting, you should be thinking about buying. Now, it's a different type of purchase, I may add, because you'll be focusing more on investments. But by lowering your living expenses, you will have more money and time to save in your 20s, which will then put you in a position to have enough money to buy an investment property. Ideally, a buy and hold property, which you can then rent to make out monthly passive income. And if you want to take it to the next level, then what you would do is you would buy that property, move into it, and rent the rooms out so you can effectively live for free or very near free, I may add, and save up more money so that you can do this again. This is called house hacking, and there's a bunch of videos online for it in case you wanted to check that out. Most people are not afforded the opportunity to do this because they have families, a career, a spouse, people that depend on them. So they can't be slumming it out with roommates, but if you can sacrifice some of your years in your 20s, then this will put you in a position down the road to make enough passive income to surpass your living expenses, and then you can buy your dream home that you've always wanted. And you don't have to worry about all the homeowner responsibilities because at this point you'll have your investments backing you up. For everyone else that has an established career and has a growing family and you're just looking to settle down, then of course buying is going to be a better long-term play. Because after all, it allows you to establish the roots that you're looking for, all while you generate that long-term wealth that you can then pass down to your family. The question is not which is better, buying or renting. The question should be, at what point or stage in life are you in? Buying is the ultimate goal, but renting may be a necessary evil for the time being in order to get there. I hope this helps bring you more clarity to the whole buying versus renting question that you have. And hopefully I didn't confuse you any more than you already are. And for more weekly real estate content like this one, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash that like button if you found value from the information that I shared. And if you didn't find value, then let me know in the comment section below. Hopefully you let me know that you did find value, but either way, I just want to hear from you. And guys, until next time.